Hello there, adventurers, and welcome to Wally DM. Today I have a puzzle that I'd like to present to you. This was submitted by YouTube subscriber Julie, and I've been working with Julie for the past couple weeks to get this ready to be presented on the channel, and I'm very excited about it. So what we have today is our adventuring party have entered a room, and of course they need to get through a locked door. Now this room is... every wall is painted with pairs of minotaurs, except for two different minotaurs, one on each side. One has a key painted on its chest, and one has a keyhole as it is painted over a door. In the middle of this room is an insubstantial, kind of a gaseous form minotaur with a vaporous key floating in the middle of it. How do the players solve this puzzle? And one of my favorite things about this is there more than one solution? Let's find out as we take a look at Julie's puzzle. This is the Painted Minotaur Room. So this is our puzzle room, and our adventurers have entered through this door here, and what they see right off the bat is the entire perimeter of the wall of this room is a painted mural. And this mural consists of minotaurs, and I've designated by all these gray stars here are paintings of pairs of minotaurs. So there's two minotaurs painted here, and they are facing each other, kind of similar to the old Egyptian art. So we've got two minotaurs here that are painted as a mural on the wall, facing each other, to here, to here, to here, etc. Now the only difference in the painted minotaurs as a mural on the wall is this one here and this one here, and these two are both single. Also in this room is a gaseous form insubstantial minotaur in the middle of this room, and when they come in they can see this minotaur here, and it is facing this direction towards this minotaur. Now the main pieces of the puzzle are these three minotaurs. Now if the party comes over and investigates this one, again this is a mural painted on the wall, they'll see that this minotaur here has full color, and it looks like there is a key painted on the torso of this minotaur. Now this minotaur on this side is also painted, and it's actually painted over a door. So there's an actual door here, and the minotaur painting is over the door. Now on the chest of this minotaur is the keyhole that can be found in the door. And finally is the gaseous form or insubstantial minotaur. They will actually see a vaporous or gaseous form like key floating in the center of this insubstantial minotaur. So a quick recap, we have a bunch of paired minotaurs painted along this mural. Also painted on the mural with no door is a minotaur here. This minotaur has a key painted on its chest, and over a door on this side is another painted minotaur, and the keyhole to the door is right on the chest of this minotaur. And there is a gaseous form minotaur in the middle of this room. It is facing in this direction, and it has a vaporous like key floating in the center of it. Now what's going to happen is if one of our characters comes over and tries to grab this key, is this minotaur here is going to solidify, and then it will be able to attack, and then we will roll initiative. Now if they investigate this minotaur, nothing's going to happen, but they will see that, of course, that keyhole is right over the chest of this minotaur, and this door is locked by a 354th level wizard, so it cannot be unlocked by non-magical means, and we'll include that to be Thieves' Tool. So the only way to open that is by one of the keys or a magical means that is found inside this room. Now if the characters, again, if they come over here and mess around with this painting, now if they touch this painting or this part of the mural in any way, then this statue will solidify, and we'll roll for initiative and have one round of combat. With that being said, if the characters specifically touch the key that's on the chest of this minotaur, then the key that's inside, that is floating inside this vaporous or insubstantial minotaur, will solidify, and it'll drop to the ground. So they'll hear the clanging of a key looking back over here, they'll see that this Minotaur is still in gaseous form, but now that key that was floating inside had solidified and drops to the ground. But once again, if they try to touch this Minotaur, try to reach through the gaseous form part of it, it will solidify, it will attack, we'll roll initiative, and we'll have a round of combat. So with everything that's been presented, as a player in this game, how would you unlock the door and solve this puzzle? I'll give you a minute if you'd like to figure it out. Did you get it? Great! Let's go over the solution. So what's fun about this puzzle that Julie presented to me is it has 4 different solutions. And of course, as a DM, if the players try something cool, there could be a 5th or 6th solution, depending on what they try. Now the first thing to note is these Minotaurs here are in pairs. The murals along the wall have nothing to do with the puzzle. They're only there to kind of signify that 2 Minotaurs probably belong together or are connected together. Now, if the characters solidify this Minotaur and it comes to life, let's say this one comes over, tries to grab the key that's in the middle, it comes to life, and we have combat, and let's say during this combat, the Minotaur ends up here, these guys are here, Archer over here, and combat ends after 1 round. After 1 round, this Minotaur will again become gaseous, and the key that was inside it, even if it dropped to the ground, will once again appear vaporous in the chest section of this Minotaur. Now what will happen, we'll take a look at which direction this Minotaur is facing. So if the Minotaur is facing this direction in melee combat with this character, at the end of the round when this becomes vaporous or insubstantial again, this painting here will now be over here. And we can even describe this as our players as they just see the painting kind of run along the wall, or we can just have it kind of blink. One moment it's there and now it's there. Let's say there's a 2nd round of combat and the characters move out this way and this Minotaur gets turned around. Let's say they all back up a little bit. Maybe it charges this one. We've got our bow and arrow guy there, and combat ends here. At the end of that 1 round of combat, again this painting will be moved and now it's over here. So one of the solutions that Julie has for us is if the players are able to get the Minotaur to either face this direction and end up after combat where these 2 overlap, then the door will unlock. Also, if this Minotaur is facing maybe to the left or the right, then this would actually symbolize the pairs of Minotaurs, and this would get the door to unlock. So solution 1 is to get this Minotaur turned around and facing and move this Painted Minotaur with the key around the room so that it either overlaps or is in a pair formation with the other Minotaur. And we could have maybe a little bit of description where if they are adjacent like this, like the actual other paintings along the wall in this room, then perhaps maybe there is a short cinematic thing where this Minotaur here takes the key out of its chest and unlocks the door for them. Or again, if they are overlapping, then perhaps it's just a magical effect. The door unlocks and opens, and of course our characters can then continue out. Solution 2 is if one of these characters, probably not the dwarf, I don't think the dwarf is tall enough. Let's take this character here. Let's say this character reaches up and touches the key on the mural of this single Minotaur. Now again, as stated before, touching the key will make the key in this Minotaur drop. Now this is in a vaporous form, gaseous form, insubstantial, whatever you want to call it. And now this key is on the floor here, and it is now solid. So let's say we have a, oh shoot, this would be our wizard here. So we have our wizard come over here. Perhaps now they can reach in with Mage Hand and grab this key and push it and take it out. Or maybe we can allow for a sleight of hand check, a dexterity check, where they can be fast enough to reach in, grab it, pull that key out of there. Or maybe even they have some type of a wind spell, or like gust or something like that, where they can cast a spell and push this key out of the gaseous form Minotaur. Now if they just try to reach in and grab it, of course this Minotaur is going to solidify again. We're going to have a round of combat, rolling for initiative, and at the end of that round of combat, then this is going to become gaseous again, and the key will once again be floating in the chest area of this insubstantial Minotaur. So again, the second solution is to pretty much press the button or touch the key that's on this mural. The key drops to the floor here, and then find a way other than just reaching in and grabbing it. Get this solidified key out, come over here and unlock the door. The third solution that could be a possibility is seeing that this Minotaur is kind of a gaseous form, insubstantial, shadow-like, however you want to run it in your game, is perhaps one of the characters can use their shadow. So let's say this character here provides a light source, a lantern or whatnot, and they manipulate their shadow with their hand and use the shadow of their hand to reach in and snag the key out of there. Now that they have this vaporous key in the shadow of their hand, then one of the other characters could grab it from that character's shadow, and once they do, then it solidifies and they are able to come over here and unlock the door. It sounds a little bit out there, but players have their characters come up with some really neat stuff, and that is definitely a possibility. So very much so, an acceptable solution is to have them reach in with the shadow of their hand, another character grabs it, key solidifies, and out the door they go. Now the fourth solution, let's say the characters come in here and instead of touching anything, the archer tries to sink an arrow to knock that key out of there. Well, as a DM, we can either allow them, if they get like a crit hit or something where it does hit the key and knocks the key out, or we can have this Minotaur solidify. And now that it solidifies, we have a round of combat, we roll for initiative, and perhaps it uses its charge attack. Well, if the characters want to, they could probably position themselves like right here, move around this way, and maybe again this archer here flings an arrow in there, comes to life, and perhaps one of the characters readies an action or something like that, and this Minotaur uses its charge attack, and the characters trick it using a reaction to dodge and trick it into smashing this door down by the Minotaur using a charge attack. So again, it's a solution that possibly characters or players can come up with, and a very acceptable one in this case as well. So that was the Painted Minotaur Room, and what I liked most about it was the different solutions that were applied to the puzzle. Now that being said, if you run this in your game, I'm sure that your players could come up with a fifth solution or even a sixth solution, so many different ones. So in the comment section below, let me know what your favorite solution to the puzzle was, and also if there's a different solution that we didn't cover. So that's all I have for you today. What did you think of the puzzle? Is this something that you could use in your game? And if so, what would you do differently? Make sure you leave a comment down below. It helps the channel out a lot. And again, thanks to Julie for submitting this puzzle. I had a great time presenting it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And that being said, there is a link in the notes section below. So if you'd like to see the written version that we were working with, the link to the puzzle can be found below. Also in the notes section is a link to my Patreon page, so if you'd like to support this channel, details of that are in there, and hopefully I'll be coming up with some rewards soon. And also there's a link to the Discord. Come on out and hang out with me and a bunch of other great people for help and advice, or just general D&D conversation. That's all I have for you today. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and on to the next.